Hello, my name's Amanda Craig. I transitioned 39 years ago at the age of 16, and it wasn't easy. At that time, there were no transgender support groups or transgender health centers for that matter. No, it wasn't easy. Actually, it was quite a challenge. I have horror stories. I have success stories. I have everything from the first time I went into rehab to clean up to every time I'd see a new doctor when I'd move into a new city. Me with a fake ID going into a primary care doctor and telling him, listen, this is what I am, can you help me? It was a matter of me educating the doctor as well as educating myself, because at the time we were giving whatever hormones were given to somebody in 1976, 1977. But I didn't have any role models. I didn't have any support group system. I wish I did. It's easier now. But I remember every time I go to a doctor, the first thing they would ask me whenever I move into a new city is, young lady, when's the last time you had your menstrual cycle, or the last time you did a pap smear? And I'd be like, oh boy, here we go again. But it was okay. And it was funny seeing the different reactions. Some would be poker faced, some would be like, whoa, and others would be just discombobulated. And most would be cool. But it was a matter of educating. It was always a deja vu feeling, because you had to start over again to explain yourself and to make things happen and to conform and have other people conform to you and accept you. And it's not been an easy life. It's been lives of ups and downs, and I've been through hell and back and some good times. I've got like 10 books in me of the stories of the different chapters of my life that I could tell you. Most of my life I've always been a fake it till you make it type person. You know, I've gone through some major body issues, self-esteem issues, though I don't show it. I put on the brave face. I'm a good actor. I have been diagnosed with PTSD. There's parts of my life I'm not proud of, parts of my life that I look back on and I am like, I can't believe I'm still alive. I should not have been alive. And was close to death many times. There's parts of my life that I've not opened up about, that I still am ashamed about, things that I'm embarrassed about, that I am too proud to admit, from child abuse, relationship abuse, adult abuse, drug abuse. I first started thinking about starting my own production company probably like 10 years ago, while I was still performing in theater. I have gone over my head so many times over writing my life story and what it's like to live as a transgender woman. Must have started 20 times, but it's a more daunting task than I ever thought. I didn't start to seriously think about it until I started doing theater again a couple years ago with Real Cream Cafe's production of the Vagina Monologues, where they asked me to portray the transgender monologue. And the first time I did it, it sparked something inside of me. It touched on a couple of personal issues, but because it was written in a chorus type of format, I wasn't able to fully express myself the way I wanted to. So it wasn't until the second year, which was last year, that I was able to do the monologue on my own without the accompanying chorus members. And the director allowed me to incorporate some of my own personal story in. It hit upon certain points of my life that I needed to get out there. And it was therapy. It was healing. And I started thinking, this is one transgender monologue in this whole show of female monologues. I realized we need more of a voice. We need more than just one monologue. We need a whole story. We need a whole play. We need a whole documentary. We need to expose our lives. We need to show that we're out there. We're living amongst everybody. That we have issues. We have legal matters that we need to deal with, that we are dealing with, that we're struggling with. We deal with circumstances that the rest of the world takes for granted. From your driver's license, ID card, passport, primary care, clinics, detoxifications, incarceration, every aspect and every single part of your life that you go through, we have to go uphill 10 times harder because of extenuating circumstances, because of us not conforming to our born gender, because of the courage that we all have to go through, that we all show whether we feel it or believe it or not. It's not an easy road. Nobody chooses this. Nobody chooses to live a hard life, to struggle and go uphill when it's an escalator going downwards. But it is what it is. And it strengthens our character, and it strengthens our will and our forging forward to survive and thrive. But there's so much more to get out. And I just want to share that. I want every trans person out there to know what that feels like, to feel what that feels like. The liberation and the freedom and the healing process of speaking your truth, of getting your word out there, letting people know what you go through. The good, the bad, the ugly, the shameful. Because no matter what things we go through, we grow from whatever we go through. It's something that I want everyone to feel and everyone to go through. That's why I want to help my trans brothers and sisters feel what that's like. Be a part of that journey. It's incredible. And in doing so, it'll be bringing awareness to mainstream America, that we are here, that we're part of America, we're part of the world, functioning, working, brilliant artists, mathematicians, intelligent professors, teachers. They say that LGBTQ so quickly, but that T that's stuck in the middle, the transgender, is never really hit upon. It's never really expanded. It's never really probed, so to speak. Well, I've performed most of my life. I've been a performer, singer, and writer, and I've started out in musical theater. People have made a big thing about my voice because I can sing, I can hold a tune. But that's been the one time that I feel confident in any of my capabilities since an early age. It's the very first time that I didn't have to get into trouble to get attention. It was the first time that I was praised for something that I was good at. That and my school studies, I was always a smart cookie. Your son is very precocious, extremely intelligent, but is a class clown, and it's getting in the way of his studies. Boy, did I get spanked. But, and the reason why I was so restless, because school was boring to me. It was so easy. I passed with A's without studying, and it got harder the older I got, because college is nowhere as easy as grammar or high school courses. Well, at least back in the day. Remember, I'm a dinosaur. But I remember that singing and performing was the one first positive attention that I got, other than oh, how pretty, or how cute, or is that a girl, or, you know, having my father slapping a man's for touching my face and locking me up in the bathroom for letting a man touch my face. And that's another book. That's another story. That's another documentary. That's part of another theatrical play, future production. Oh boy, do I have many anecdotes and stories. Let's not even go there. I became college educated in theater arts and film production, film editing, writing, stage writing, playwriting. Then I started getting more serious as far as telling my story. A couple weeks ago, I was asked to perform at the annual Transgender Memorial Candlelight Vigil that memorializes the individuals, the trans individuals murdered this past year just for expressing who they are, for being transgender. And I was stunned at the numbers. I was absolutely moved and mortified, actually, because I had not ever attended something like that before. And when they had everyone read off the names of everyone that had passed on, and it was my turn, and I came and sat down at my pew, hearing everyone else reading the rest of their names and seeing their faces come up on the screen in the countries and the states of where they were from and how young they were or how old they were, it hit home. It made me realize that I need to do more for my trans community. What do I know how to do? I know how to produce films, edit them. I'm a good director. I'm a performer. I know how to create production, film production, documentaries, theater. So what is it that I could do to give back to my community? And I thought about that, and it just rang in my head. It's just like a light bulb. I'm going to start interviewing as many trans people that I meet along the way. I'm going to create a documentary, and it's going to discuss our lives, our childhoods, our acceptance, the people we met along the way, our transgender transitioning journey, in hopes that it will educate, entertain, and bring awareness to the transgender presence in America and in our world. Eventually, my goal is to bring about a theatrical production inspired by the vaginal monologues, but more on the lines of the transgender dialogues. That's why I named my production Trans Declaration. To let everyone, to inform and educate the world and everyone that sees our documentary exactly what we go through, how we live, how we struggle, how we succeed, how we're normal, how we're just like you and me and everyone else. Because until we show that visibility in the media, in entertainment, we're not going to get over the stigma and transphobia and the ignorance and the hatred and the fear of the unknown. So that's my goal. First and foremost, I want all my stories to be real. The good, the bad, the ugly, the hateful, the funny, the heart-wrenching, the hilarious, the affirming. And starting here and now, I'm going to put all my energy into bringing this to fruition. And I hope that each and every one of you will support me and be a part of my journey. So that's my goal. That's my manifestation in the universe. And that is what I hope to accomplish with my production company. So wish me luck. And I invite you to be a part of my journey. And I can't wait to get it going. Happy holidays.